CQ, CQ, this is W9GFO. Is anybody out there?
Other people need to see what I've seen. They need to see...
This is the way it's been done for billions of years. Small moves, small moves.
It's Trans Day of Visibility in 2026. One of the hardest times, well, in my life, it's like the hardest time to be trans. And I'm 70 years old, so it's a little after 10 o'clock at night. March 31, 2026. Tomorrow is, what do you call it? April Fools? And I don't know, I'm guessing that it's sort of a special holiday with Minecraft that they put out a April Fools edition. Other people are already talking about that there might be one, but nobody knows, you know, because they don't tell us until the day, usually. I doubt it'll be anything very fancy-schmancy since they just released a new update, or they're releasing a new update. Is that a giant tree or just a regular tree? It's a little big. We'll see how it goes. There's way too many trees here, you know. Oh, yeah, it's a giant tree. Oh, well. We'll get up here and chop it out. So, I don't want to dwell on how bad things are. I mean, we know things are bad, right? It's not safe to be trans anyway. And now, let's see. I think there was something just released that, like the Stonewall, the National Parks thing has a commemorative plaque and whatnot for the Stonewall Uprising. And they have removed the word trans. They're referring to it as an LGBT event, forgetting all about Sylvia Rodriguez and all the other trans, especially women of color, that were deeply involved in the Stonewall Uprising and queer rights. I wonder why I just jumped. I don't recall that. There's a jump button, but my thumb wasn't anywhere near that. Well, anyway. So, yeah, and then because, you know, drill baby drill, people are back to calling it the Gulf of Mexico in spite of what he wants, but his little friends in the oil business, these looked at environmental protections for species in the Gulf of Mexico, and there's a little whale down there that is gonna go extinct. And I'm kind of trying real hard not to identify with that whale. Of course, you know, I'm 70 years old, so I'm on my way out, but I'm worried about you guys. But again, I don't want to just dwell on the negative. I mean, I don't want to pretend that bad things aren't happening either, because that's just, you know, that doesn't help. But what I'd like to do is remind us all of how beautiful and brave we are. How hard we've worked to have our lives. I just heard a story. There's a person that does a series. They have a YouTube channel too, but I saw them on. I see Facebook Reels frequently because they're simple and they're easy, and the algorithm pretty much knows what I like to see. And anyway, they have a channel called Just Queers, and today I saw a video about a trans woman in Iran and how hard she worked to be accepted by her very religious. Oh, I better not do that. I don't know if that's a tree branch or if it's part of a house, you know. Let me see. Is it part of a house? No, it's part of a tree. How hard she worked to be able to be trans in Iran. Did you know trans health care and surgeries and so on are supported by the government of Iran? I know, huh? You know, the stereotype about, well, if you're queer in Iran or whatever, in the Middle East, they're going to throw you off a building, and some dingbats did that somewhere, sometime. I don't remember when. It was a while back when we were doing all that Gulf War junk. I don't remember who it was. So yeah, there are places where it's not safe to be trans, but you know what? It's not safe to be trans here. Anyway, it was a really interesting story about her work. She goes by the name Miriam, which is the only part of the Quran about a woman, the presumed mother of Jesus. So she named herself after that. Is that I think I hear a trailer. So I'm just thinking about what she went through to. She went to a therapist that was. She's very religious, so she went to a therapist who was also religiously based. Hey there, Joe. What do you know? Where are your llamas? Will you stop doing that? Oh my gosh. You know, it would be nice just once if you would just settle down without me having to chase you around the bushes. That is so annoying. Um, so she went through a lot of stuff. She even had to live as a man for a while, in order to survive some prejudice, and now she ended up living her life openly. Hormone therapy, the whole thing. So maybe some of the propaganda we're hearing might not be true, you know? Especially about Middle Eastern people, especially about Muslim people. Maybe some of it's not true. Maybe some of it just fits the narrative that our country wants us to believe so they can steal other people's oil and resources, you know. So trying not to identify too strongly with that little whale. We're not going to die. We're not going to die. We're not going to disappear. But I remember from my church days that there was a whole lot of, if we just pretend it's not true, you'll just close your eyes and pretend maybe it'll go away kind of thinking, you know. So that's what this administration's doing, and of course they're pandering to, oh my gosh. There's supposed to be carpets on all of these, and somehow I forgot. Let's see, I don't really need potatoes. Was that potatoes? No, that's campfires. Okay. Well, anyway, I will put a carpet on that because that's why I have carpet. Well, that and the llamas. I like to cover the llamas too, you know. I like, once I've got one that's tamed, I want to put them all in my color carpet for this place, which is apparently teal blue, is it? And then cover the campfires. I don't want my poor little villagers getting toasted. That would be sad. Can I even go down here? Yee. This is the weirdest terrain. The villagers seem to be figuring out all these. I put so many staircases and stuff for these people. They seem to be figuring them out now. It's starting to go up and down. So that was encouraging, that Iranian woman. That was a nice story to hear. These are just here because I was out here at night and I noticed this is really dark. So I'd rather not encourage pests. Because, you know, they got this new block coming out soon. Why can't I put that? Oh, because, oh, shoot. I guess I was naming it right, huh? Yeah, okay. They got these new blocks coming out soon. The next, well, first there's the update with the baby animals. I think that's this one. Although, this is the first time I've played since this update, so I don't really know what's going on with that. But the next one, they're going to have fancy slimes. There's going to be a biome where there's going to be sulfur caves. And there will be a special kind of sulfur that lives underwater that's going to release toxic fumes. And there's going to be cinnabar. This worries me because cinnabar is very, 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 very toxic. You get mercury poisoning from it. So I'm wondering why, when sulfur kind of makes sense because theoretically you could play on peaceful and maybe craft sulfur into gunpowder. But that doesn't make sense because there's these little slime blocks that live in these sulfur caves that you can only get them if you're not on peaceful. But you can feed them other blocks and they will get, different properties depending on what you feed them. Like, they're kind of like a ball. And depending on what you feed them, it affects how they move. Like if you feed them ice, they get real slick and they slide along the ground. If you feed them iron, they get really, really heavy. They call it a medicine ball, you know, like the ones in the gym. So they have different properties depending on what you feed them. They're benign, they're not hostile, but they do not grow. You cannot get them if you're in peaceful. That's just the thing. But that's not coming out for a little while yet, but it's, people are wondering, been watching some stuff about this update that's coming, about the sulfur, whatever. People are wondering if it's not too much to be working on. They're just now getting that animal thing going, the baby mobs. And that's probably going to need some tweaking. And then now they're doing the sulfur thing, sulfur caves, and trying to do April Fools all at the same time. But April Fools is a long-standing tradition with this game. I thought that was a zombie down there. I saw that carpet. I'm like, zombie? Wait a minute, what? I'm starting to figure out where the parameters of... Oh, I gotta stay around here, that's it. I don't want to go way out in the woods. I'm just trying to cut down the trees that are right in and around the village. They're causing a lot of unnecessary dark spots. And I can definitely use the wood, you know. So that's not a problem. Alright, I want to get in there and work on that. I started building... See, I built a, widow's walk around it. Because up there, the villagers can literally almost exactly walk on the roof. So I made it like a widow's walk. It's not supposed to be a house. It's supposed to be, I don't know. I don't even know if I noticed if there was a brewing stand in it. You know, like a, I don't want to call them a church. I don't particularly like churches. So yeah, trans, especially right now, trans to have visibility. And I'm not going to be visible. I'm not going to, you know, I'm out here in the rural thing, and if I told anybody who I am for real, I mean, it's really dangerous. My neighbor, 10,000 blank acres out here that this guy could have moved into, and he's like right up my butt. He's right behind me. Moved in a bunch of old junk vehicles. Pinned up 2 dogs in a little teeny tiny kennel. Didn't put up the fence. My dogs have been running out here for years. So they, you know, they're curious. They want to meet him. Like the other day, I heard one of my dogs screaming, and then I heard him start yelling because apparently my dogs got too close to his place, and I think he decided to hurt one. And the dog yelped, and because my dog yelped, of course, the other dogs, that put them in alarm mode. They were just going over because they were curious to visit, but I'm pretty sure he either kicked them or hit them or threw something at them or, you know, whatever. Oh, I don't want to cut that down. So, and then he started screaming. Well, in this state, if you don't want animals on your property, that's your responsibility. That's why I had so much problem with cattle when I first moved in here. Not anymore. Dogs keep them out. Cows don't want anything to do with all these dogs. So if you want animals off your property, it's your responsibility to fence your property. Because there's free-range cattle out here. So he's screaming and yelling, and I couldn't hear what he was saying, but, so I'm scared of him. So it's not like I'm going to be out of any closets around here about being trans. I don't look like I'm trans. I'm old and fat and present as female primarily because I wear dresses a lot, dresses and skirts, because I'm 70 years old, and I have problems with continence, you know, with not peeing on myself. So I wear, look at that, that's not burning. That's wild. Well, it's gone now, I don't know. So, well, that didn't work. Oh, well, I'm stupid. So I wear skirts because I can go to the bathroom real quick without having any accidents. You don't have to pull my pants down, all that stuff. Just pull my skirt up and pee. So, to save myself having accidents. Plus, in the summertime, skirts are really nice because it gets hot here. And, you know, you don't want anything touching your body. I'm not kidding. You don't want anything touching. Well, I don't. You know, I like having lots of room to move around and hardly any fabric touching me anywhere. So, dresses and stuff, that's great. Just something hanging off my shoulders. Keeps me from being naked when I'm walking outside. You know, simple. So, it's not, I mean, you know, when I was younger, I wouldn't have dressed in dresses. You know, I was, even when I was, identifying as female, I didn't wear dresses. Back when I was real young, in my 20s, I wore jeans and stuff. And trousers and suits and all that stuff. I always did. I didn't know anything about trans, you know, I didn't know anything about that stuff. I call myself androgynous. I think a lot of us did, really. But that was back in the 70s when people were doing all kinds of stuff with playing with identity and how we present ourselves. And, I mean, even straight, cis people were, you know, dressing all kind of weird and stuff, you know, so, I mean, we were just trying to figure out ways to express ourselves. So it wasn't that odd that I dressed the way I did. Just another form of self-expression, you know. So yeah, things are, scary right now, that's for sure. But I'm going to tell you something. See, I went to, like, the first, I think we called it a gay liberation march protest. I don't remember what we called it. But we called it gay because we didn't mention everybody's names back then. We were lucky to even, you know, we were pretty, taking some risks to even call it gay, right? So I went to the first one in, I guess right now you call it a Pride March or whatever. I went to the first one in Los Angeles back in the day. I mean the first one in Los Angeles, you know? I mean, there were only a few hundred of us. We were all scared to death. We were pretty sure we were going to get arrested, or worse. A bunch of religious nuts showed up. Excuse me, I have to cough. A bunch of religious nuts showed up, and they had huge signs telling us that we were going to go to hell and stuff. A lot of us fresh out of the Southern Baptist Church. You know, I'd only been out of the church for, I don't know, 2-3 years. And I pretty much had the whole dang Bible memorized. King James Bible, anyway. So they started in with their nonsense, and I just started quoting scriptures right back at them. Trying to make them very happy. But some of the people marching with us, oh God, we were so scared. I can't even tell you how scared we were. I can't express to you how scared we were. Anyway, some of the people marching with us, they appreciated that I was doing that because they were raised in churches too, you know. So they were real glad to hear somebody coming up with positive stuff about the Bible. I don't waste my time with that crap anymore, but at the time it was very appropriate. It was healing for me, and it was healing for everybody around me. So, so I'm saying we've been through this, you know. And no, it's not fair that we have to go through it again. And, I would like to live the rest of my life in peace. There's not much of it left. So I would really like not to have to go through all this nonsense. And it's going to be scary. I mean, bad things are going to happen. I mean, if they decide we're mentally ill, they can lock us up. Take our agency, make a fortune off of us, because these hospitals and mental health facilities and stuff, there's big money in that racket. And if there's one thing this administration likes to do, make money off of people. I just heard about, what hospice care is? Where you're sick and dying, and you're probably not going to come back out. Well, that's turned into a big damn industry now. I mean, you can't even die in peace without somebody trying to make a buck off you. So if you think they're not going to come after us, finding a way. They're talking about doing it with veterans, guardianships for veterans. If you won't have any control over your money or where you live or anything, they say, well, we know what's best for them. And we're not talking about a loving family member being your guardian or something. This is an industry. So, I said recently, I don't know if voting makes a difference, right? And mitigating harm and all that stuff. If you're just voting because you're scared. Democrats have been counting on that, boogeyman's going to get us. And yeah, he's a real boogeyman, all right. But I don't know if voting really does make a difference, or harm reduction and whatnot. I know, like this clown Gavin Newsom, he sold us out already. Talking about we shouldn't be wasting our time on pronouns, something like that. Plus, he hates homeless people, and he's a real dangerous guy. He's basically a Republican. He really is. Have you noticed how much he looks like that Pete Hegseth, or whatever his name is, that's running the military now? Another religious nut. He's not actually religious. He's just hiding behind Jesus for an excuse. He loves killing people. He's always talking about violence. He literally says that. I think it's insulting to people in the military because, they like to think that they're doing something as a professional soldier, not just thug life, They're not, Pete he really gets off on hurting people. So, I think putting him in charge of military and whatnot, pretty damn stupid. He's real reckless, So, anyway, talk about who he's going to kill and how lethal the military is going to be, and now mixing that up with a bunch of Jesus stuff. Yuck, So if you can make people think that you're on some kind of a righteous crusade, that's been done before too, huh? So what do we do about it? Well, those of us who have to hunker down, gotta hunker down. I don't know what y'all gonna do about hormones. I know that there's some ways to get hormones legit. If you can find a doctor that'll work with you. If you can find a doctor who will work with you. There's a way to get hormones for other reasons, with other diagnoses besides gender affirming care. There's a way to do it. I don't remember how. If I do remember, I'll tell you. So there's a way to do that. And then, how am I doing on these trees? Not bad, not bad. I don't want to go too far afield. I do want to catch all the apples and things I can, that's for sure. Oh, I got to switch out this sax. It's going to die in it. Yeah. So, I keep harping on this, and I really do mean it. We got to do mutual aid, I mean, real mutual aid. Oh, shoot, this is a big tree. I guess. I don't look very big. Sometimes they just have one little sideways branch. This seems to be one of those. Gotta be some mutual aid. We gotta be family to each other. Really be family to each other. Because it's gonna get really tight. We've got to also form underground systems. I dated a woman that wanted to go to university just so she could learn how to make her own estrogen. She is, she's a trans woman, and she was born intersex, and she was the only so-called boy in her family. I mean, she had some male-looking stuff, so her father really wanted her to be a boy. Anyway, she was determined not to be. She was determined to be female, and she went through a lot of crap. She castrated herself with her father's farm tools when she was 13, because she didn't want her voice to change. She got a beautiful voice. Which reminds me, I've been rewatching some Game of Thrones reels. Weird combination. Game of Thrones and The West Wing in the middle of all this crap that's going on with American politics. So I've been crying a lot. So she castrated herself. Has had and still has a really good career in public radio, including radio theater, where she's doing acting and stuff. But she runs a radio station. She runs a public radio station. Not going to tell you where, but she's a manager on a college campus. So she wanted to go to college so she could learn to make her own estrogen. Apparently that's not really, really, really hard to do. I don't recommend it because, quality control and all that stuff. Unless you're an actual pharmacy student and whatnot. Don't just go off half-cocked and start, doing home remedy crap. But, I mean, we've had to do underground stuff before in the past, and I'm sure we can do it again. I'm just worried about, because I remember horror stories about, like, oh, like people giving themselves silicone injections and stuff like that. It's real dangerous to start doing that kind of stuff on your own. But we're going to have to figure out ways to do it. When I was a kid, like I guess about 17, 18, something like that, before abortion was legal, and of course now it's not again, uh, we had an underground railroad. People who, you could get an abortion legally in California. So people would need to come in from out of state, and we'd meet them and transport them to the doctor, and people from their state would transport them here. We'd get them to the doctor, get them the medical care they needed, and send them back home. They're anticipating that this time, because they're doing this whole thing about if you assist somebody going out of state, just driving them out of state. So we're going to have to be sneaky, that's for sure. We're going to have to be smart. But we're not going to be able to give up. I mean, I'm not saying everybody has to do it, because different people have different skill sets and different abilities to do things. So not everybody has to do everything. You know what I mean? Do what you're good at. Don't pretend you're good at something you're not good at. Do what you can do. Do what you know how to do. And if there's something you want to do, just learn how. I mean, before the internet gets shut down, let's start learning things, right? I'm going to come. So I'm really, really proud of us. I'm really proud of us. Because they keep throwing stuff at us and we just keep being alive. And they don't want it, but we're doing it. Also, something keeps telling me this isn't going to last forever. All this stuff about surveillance and AI and, like the government with Palantir, and now certain people are, a certain country is threatening Palantir and Oracle and all the other people that want to invade our privacy and collect our data and surveil everything we do and mind our business for us because they don't think we can do it right and, all that jazz. Well, I was talking about the mice in the wires, mice chewing the wires. Well, that's turns out that a couple of Amazon's, I guess, data centers, whatever, in the Middle East have become targets. And one of the things they were talking about, that just look at down here, how nice. Is that an egg? No, I've been down here. Oh, okay. Just to put up torches. The data centers are targets. And that country is just saying, it's fair game. We had no business bothering those people, they got their own things to do, and we're not making anything better, that's for sure. So, legit targets now are these AI companies that are about to go broke anyway. They're laying people off, not because the AI can do the jobs, but because they're bleeding money, and the investors are starting to say, hey, we've been giving you all this money, we're not getting any return on our investment with gifts. So now they're reducing their employees, so it looks like they're doing better than they actually are. And of course, reducing their employees means the product will be even worse, and it'll take even longer to refine it, make it better, and So those data centers that I was talking about, I forgot this part. They actually have stuff in place to try to keep the mice from eating the wires. Isn't that interesting? Never would have thought that. So that's a real thing. To this day, things have not gotten better. Malvina Reynolds wrote that song about the mouse and the wires, in the 60s? So there's still a problem with mice and the wires. Isn't that interesting? So we can do stuff. We can. My cat thinks I'm talking to her, so she's up here to get snuggles. We can do stuff. What we've got to do, though, is be with each other. You don't have to like them. You just have to be with them. I mean, really make sure that you have somebody's back. Make sure you have somebody's back. And it'll come around. They'll have yours. How am I doing with this? Are things falling down? It's hard for me to talk. I'm not sure why. Well, for one thing, that's one of my boy cats. I'm sorry. I thought you were Dusty. I think you're Rusty, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah, you're my cuddle buddy. Rusty's kind of the switch cat, the one who always needs to be, the one who drools, the one who needs to be cuddled. Where are sticks? Do I have sticks? I am really struggling to see. Oh, I should put those away. For real. Do I have sticks? Yeah, 27 sticks. I see them. So my cat thinks I'm talking to him, so he's down here hanging out with me. Oh, I have to go. So I really didn't feel like making a video. I've been thinking about doing it all day, though, because it's Trans Day of Visibility. I want people to know I'm trans, but I don't want to, I don't put my picture on the internet and all that kind of stuff, because it's not safe. It's just not for me. I don't have enough privilege, there's no money, I just don't have anything that make it safe for me to be out. invisible. Even if I was heterosexual and, what do you call it, cis or whatever, it wouldn't be safe for me to be out, you know, to have my picture online. That kind of stuff. It just wouldn't be safe. So I'm not doing it. Let me see. This is getting back toward. I think I will just put lights in these trees, you know? Well, look at you, sheep. How come you're not hanging out with the other sheep? This is the weirdest looking building, isn't it? I don't quite get it. I mean, they're getting real clever with structures, just the generic structures in the game now. But, I don't know. I see I've got a lot more mud walls. Oh, these headphones hurt. Got a lot more mud walls I got to put up around here with fire things on them. Did I put any beds in here? No. Yeah, I think that... Yo, there is a brewing stand in there. Look. Okay, well, that's a thing. Here goes the sheep. I wanted to make sure I dug out everything around here. And what's up the hill? Yeah, I'm kind of sad, you know, because I've been working my whole life trying to make things better. I'm trying to save the planet. Trying to save the people. Animals. The resources. And now we all got forever plastics in our bodies. Forever chemicals. I'm pretty sad. I was really hoping we'd be, I don't know, flying cars, colonies on the moon, you know, the whole thing. Because when I was a kid, you know, that's what we were going for, you know. John F. Kennedy and all that stuff. We were, the age of Camelot, we were going to make things better, and humanity was just going to keep improving, and, you know, we were all going to be happy and healthy, and the Cold War was going to come to an end, and we would be prosperous, and that's what had happened after the Second World War. We all got all middle class, and people could afford houses and school. There was GI bills, and I mean, I went to school for what do you call it, community college. Went to community college for $6 a semester. Gas was 28 cents a gallon. I drove a Volkswagen Beetle. I could go anywhere, do anything, just by scraping the spare change off the floor. I had an apartment down by the beach in Santa Monica for $95 a month. It was just a little one-bedroom, not one-bedroom, bachelor kind of, you know, little kitchen. Well, pretty nice kitchen, actually. Bathroom down the hall. That was one thing. Bathroom and shower down the hall. No residential hotel. But it was a block from the beach. And the neighbor, you know, went out the backyard of the hotel and looked over the fence. There was Tom Hayden and Jane Fonda's house. Jane Fonda used to be married to this guy named Tom Hayden. Look up the Democratic National Convention when the riots happened, when people were protesting war and stuff. He was one of them people. So she always had to have the politically correct cool people, you know, to sleep with. You know, we were, let's see. I was down here by the Santa Monica Pier, and there was a surf and turf. That means they serve seafood and steak. Surf, seafood, turf, steak. I don't know why turf and steak, but whatever, because I guess because they eat grass. Anyway, there was a surf and turf place down there, and I'd get prime rib out of the dumpster. Take it home and eat it, make soups out of it, and all that kind of stuff. So, and as long as I stayed in school, I was dependent on my dad. My dad was disabled. As long as I stayed in school, I got $95 a month. No, wait, I got $123 a month. My rent was $95, so I had 23 plus 5, $28 a month for living expenses, and that's all I needed. That's all I needed. I didn't eat fancy, but I ate well. I could buy groceries. I couldn't get food stamps because I had just run away from home, so I was still like you can apply food stamps if you've been away from your parents' house for a year, and I had just a few more months, so it hasn't been quite a year since I ran away from home, but did okay, I'd say. Oh, I don't like that fog. Oh, I don't like that fog. I can't tell what the heck I'm looking at. No, I'm not excited about the baby animals. I'm gonna miss the ugly chickens, ugly baby chickens with the funny necks. I'm gonna miss them. There's not much light up here, is there? Oh, well, I'm not done. I think, let me see. Yeah, this goes up to the house with the flowers. The house that I'm building, you know. So yeah, I'm not near done with this. I'm just working on it, finding ways to make a path from upstairs to downstairs so that the villagers can find places to go, and so can I, you know. So, anyway, it's Trans Day of Visibility. There's a few of us who have enough privilege that they can afford to be out. This is as out as I can be, people. Right here, right now, this is it. That's all I got. I'm gonna wait tonight to do these because I want to be able to see them. Yeah, this is that weird. I guess it's just the place where the brewing stand is. Yes. Oh yeah, those are the captive sheep that came with the place. They won't despawn. We gotta have each other, you know. I don't have anybody, so I feel it very acutely. I have my scary neighbor who I think hurt my dog, and then when my other dog started barking about it, he got scared and started screaming at me. And then today I kept hearing he has a dog locked up. He was crying and crying and crying. He had it locked up in he got a bunch of old junky buildings and what do you call those things? Those packing crates and old RVs and sheds and derelict cars and derelict trucks and some like farm equipment, tractors and stuff. He's got 1 acre of land and it's just packed with stuff. But he doesn't have a fence around it. So my animals are used to wandering over there, and I think he was out working and they went over to see what he was doing, and he got mad at him and hit one. And you don't hit one of my dogs without everybody, you know, without all the alarm bells going off and stuff. So that wasn't going to happen. That was a free lunch. 64. This is oak saplings. I'm having trouble seeing. I might not be able to do this very well. Not sure. Wait, look at all this oak we got here. Oh, that wasn't oak. That's that fuzzy stuff. Boy, we got some oak now. I've been clearing a lot of this out. It's really... Well, you see, it's definitely forest, right? What are you? Cyan carpet. Okay. You can go back up there, you know. Sticks? Do I put sticks here? Yes, I do. It didn't work. That poor dog been sitting there forever. What's in here? Okay, more leafy things. I don't use those leaves enough. I really should. I like them. They make nice carpet designs and floor designs. Spruce saplings go here. Sorry, I know watching people go through their inventories. The most mind-numbing, boring thing. Brown mushroom. Do I have red mushroom? Nope, I have apples. I might have red mushroom, I don't know. What's this? Oh, right, I have blue orchids. I got them from Joe. Because I haven't found what do you call it yet? A swamp? Well, maybe I have. That's carpet, too. So, yeah, I'm sad and I'm all alone and, you know, struggling to get water. I mean, I'm afraid I'm going to run out of water soon. Somebody's supposed to bring some this coming Friday. So maybe I don't have to be too worried. I'm just going to surround this whole thing. It's going to be hard to do because, with this wall, it's going to be hard to do because, look how steep, right? So, okay, I'm going to go in creative so I can, fly. Settings. Settings? They changed this again. I'm having a hell of a time. Personal game mode. Hello? They changed this. I can't figure out what I'm doing. Oh, I wish I'd stop dicking around with... If it works, don't fix it, you know? Oh, my cat's purring so good and loud. Look at that. That's much better. Good Lord, we were so choked with trees. We had so many trees. This is much better. I gotta get an idea of where I want to put all this wall. I think I would like to just keep going this way. Yeah, I'll go this way and then... because up here is all me, you know? Not all me, but it's a lot me. Yeah, I'll just go around from the bottom. And then somewhere over here I'll hook it up, somewhere around over here somewhere. Because here's wall, you know? I'm worried about this. I don't want cooties coming up from there. So and then this wall is, separates me from the forest. You can see it really well because I got all this smoke. You can see where I built the wall. That was on purpose so that I use the smoke. So I can see the wall even when I can't see the wall. You know what I mean. And then I guess I'm going to have to clean this out too because it's a lot of trees, isn't it? Yep. Yeah, I'll just go around from the ground. That makes most sense. Now I don't have to worry so much about jigging and jagging. And I've got this part cut off some kind of way. Oh yeah, over here. So I don't have to worry about all that. I'll get it working. It's coming along. Oh dear. I'm kind of not looking forward to even seeing the baby chickens. I'm not one of those kind of people that's adverse to change. It's just, in the case of this game, the influence of, Microsoft. Microsoft is such a problematic company. And they don't have to be. They don't have to be jackasses, you know? They're so rich and stuff. Now, what am I going to do about this? Eee, that's pretty ugly, isn't it? See, this is still part of the village up here. Ooh, and look down here. Ooh. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to cover that up and stuff, right. So there's a lot of, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Because this is still considered part of the village as long as there's this path block stuff. So I'll work on it. I'll figure it out. I may flatten it down, you know. I don't have to do anything over here. It looks like about the end of the real village proper is right here. But I got to figure something out with this. Because this is bad. This is a good place for creepers to hop on down. Something might happen with the creepers too because of that sulfur thing. Ooh. I accidentally loaded too many chunks in this thing, so that sulfur thing's gonna be hard to find. They're gonna do like they did with the lush caves, though. I gotta call. You know how lush caves have what are those things called? Those trees on top, azalea trees. Yeah, so this is this is rough. I'll figure it out. I'm not sure how. Might have to take part of this mountain off, like right around here. Just flatten it down so I can put a fence, and then bring it down this way. Because I don't even want to get involved in that cave, you know. I'll figure it out. So yeah, it's a kind of a sad time, but I've seen us do stuff. I've seen us do stuff. A lot of stuff. I've seen us create radio shows and television channels, and I've seen us come out of the closet in entertainment and sports and business, and there are people who I don't know, sympathize, understand, empathize. We do have allies. We also have some people who are just jerks, but we do have allies. I mean, they just today decided that it was a violation of freedom of speech that the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and National Public Radio and PBS, that the funding was withdrawn. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'm sure that the bad guys are going to appeal it to the federal government, but I mean, maybe we haven't lost Sesame Street and Reading Rainbow, maybe, and Nova and Firing Line, or Frontline, I mean, and but then also in the matter of free speech, it was decided today that I'm not going to cry. The conversion therapy, quote unquote, is a form of free speech. You can torture children and call it free speech. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I remember when I was a kid, the older queers would tell us about what they used to do when they put them in hospitals, and they would literally attach electrodes to your genitals and give you electric shocks if you had any feelings for people of the same sex, and give you drugs that made you sick, made you vomit. They'd physically torture you. They would literally torture you, and they wanted to. And those were adults back then. They didn't do it to children. Now they want to do it to children. You know, I was tortured as a kid, but not officially by. I was tortured by one of my parents. But I mean, I could have been cisgender and heterosexual, and that parent would have tortured me. But it was another excuse, you know. But I heard all the stuff about, you know, sinful. I mean, I even got told I was demonic, and I sure wish I had somebody around I could talk to, you know. I wish I had some friends. I wish I knew that, you know, people know that I don't have a vehicle. People know that I'm 70. People know that I'm in a wheelchair. People know I'm all alone out here. People know that I'm just always on the very edge of, I mean, it's always a survival thing. I mean, is the water going to run out? Is the propane going to run out? What if my neighbor gets drunk and beats me like that one neighbor that tried to run me over with his truck? Hold on, I got to cough. And I try to build community. I do it. Local Facebook groups, I try to post news and stuff, but there's no community there, and YouTube won't even let you guys see my videos. So I'm all alone out here trying to form community, and I have no community, and I mean, I go for weeks without talking to another human being, literally. I'm back on Meals on Wheels again, so I just got signed up for it automatically. I didn't really ask them to. They just did it when I called about something else. So once a week, somebody comes and drops off a box of ready-to-eat meals and one hot meal, and looks like they're paying to, I even say thank you and meet them at the car. as they drop it off. If I could get to town, I'd have hot meals 5 days a week. But they used to bring out hot meals every day, but they don't have the gas for it. So I guess I'm lucky I get a box once a week, and I mix it with other stuff. It works out pretty well if you add some tomato sauce to it, and I'll talk to you about the recipes later. But that's the only person I've talked to in weeks. Oh, I made a couple phone calls, but and I never get off the property, and I'm working so hard. Those big old tiny satellite dishes that were like, I don't know, 10, 15 feet around, something like that, 8, 10 feet maybe. I've got 2 of those, and I brought them over here with my truck. Somebody had them in their yard and didn't want them anymore, and I want them for shade for my animals. And they've been out in the driveway, and I'm moving them into position where I want them for my garden. And all I have is that little cheap electric wheelchair that's supposed to be driven in the house, and I'm out here driving it in sand and dirt and pig poop and rattlesnakes. I wear that poor little thing out, and it certainly isn't supposed to be pulling satellite dishes. And then windstorm, a big giant trampoline about 10 feet on a metal frame got blown in not too far from my place, and my friend Pat, who brings me my water, she went out and dragged it over with her truck, and I'm moving that into position so I can lean it up against the east side of my house so I have shade in the morning. But it's huge, and it's on a big metal frame, and it's really, really heavy. I think it's about 100 pounds or more. Same as those satellite dishes. I'm dragging them all over the yard and putting up shade and swimming pools, and I hear a puppy outside. I gotta go out and check on it. They're getting to the point now where they're getting adventurous. Nobody will help me get these puppies spayed and neutered. Get these dogs. What the heck? I must have. Oh, I did that because there was a hole there that you could fall through. I think I see another hole. Do I? No, it's got glass. Okay. That's why I was like, what the heck is that piece of wood doing there? So it'd be nice to, get off the property once in a while. Pat's going to help me get my little motorbike running so I can at least go get me some propane when I need it, and some, go get my mail. And, there's one of those water dispensers where you can fill a 5-gallon jug. So it'll be a lot cheaper and more environmentally friendly than I have to buy those little bottles of water in a pack and have them delivered from the big box store. So there's little plastic water bottles all over the place because I have no way to take out trash. There's no place to take it. And I can't afford to have somebody pick it up. So I've just got little teeny plastic water bottles all over the place. I'm going to make flowers out of them. I'm going to use them for flower petals. For decoration. Have some trash sculptures. Alright, well, I guess that's about it. I just wanted to acknowledge Trans Day of Visibility and let you know this is about as visible as I can be. But this is a lot, really. Wrong person to see this video, I'm dead. I gotta go rescue that poor little puppy. They go under the house, and then there's a little cage I get sitting right by the door. I've got it sitting on its side, so I can use it like a little table. And the bottom, the wires are farther apart than the rest of the cage. So they go under the house, and they go through those wires, and they get stuck in that cage. Oh my God, do you hear this? All right. Well, here I am on top of my world. Whee! Ooh, look at that. It's definitely an environmental hazard here, isn't it? Okay. Well, happy Trans Day of Visibility. You are alive. Wake up. I'd hug you, but my arms don't bend. Goodbye.
I will kill you.
Like, dislike, share, comment, subscribe, or the dog gets it!